Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
The WNBA is in a serious financial predicament, and without Caitlin Clark on the court, the league is struggling to stop the rapid decline of the momentum it worked so hard to build. Many believe this situation once again highlights how little the league has learned about protecting the player who helped transform its popularity and bring unprecedented attention to women's basketball. It is the story of a league that continues to damage its own future while its biggest star remains sidelined, and how refusing to acknowledge her impact could end up costing the organization millions of dollars as the consequences continue to unfold.
Truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
In an era driven by manufactured drama and non-stop social media outrage, facts have become almost as difficult to find as sold-out WNBA arenas without Caitlin Clark. When Clark was sidelined on June 24th with a quad injury, the league's overwhelming dependence on a single player was exposed for everyone to see. Now, with Clark once again expected to miss an unknown amount of time because of a groin injury, fans are witnessing the very same pattern repeat itself all over again.
Quad injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation, but the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
Nationally televised WNBA viewership reportedly dropped by an astonishing 55%, falling from an average of 1.818 million viewers when Caitlin Clark was playing to just 847,000 without her, while Indiana Fever games experienced a 53% decline in viewership. However, this is where the entire situation becomes almost impossible to ignore. And by impossible to ignore, we mean an unavoidable disaster for a league that continues refusing to acknowledge the consequences of its own decisions.
Clark went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
League is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.
While Caitlin Clark was doing what she does best, selling out arenas, shattering television ratings, and generating record-breaking revenue, the WNBA appeared to be doing what it has been criticized for most, failing to protect its most valuable asset. The league continued promoting the game, while critics argued that opponents were allowed to target a player responsible for an estimated 26.5% of the WNBA's overall economic activity, without meaningful consequences. What's even more remarkable, and, to many fans, increasingly frustrating, is that this situation feels painfully familiar. The league has faced similar challenges before whenever its biggest star has been sidelined, with viewership and revenue taking noticeable hits. Yet despite those experiences, many believe the same mistakes continue to be repeated, as if the lessons of the past were never truly learned.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her.
Please subscribe if you're enjoying this content. The financial fallout arrived quickly and without warning. Fever game ticket prices reportedly dropped by as much as 71%, with some seats falling from around $860 to just $250. Even more striking, the average ticket price for games Clark was expected to miss reportedly plunged from $1,370 to roughly $80, highlighting just how much demand she generates for the league. Road games that had been moved to larger arenas to accommodate the surge in interest surrounding Clark are now struggling to fill seats that likely would have been sold out if she were playing. Tickets for the highly anticipated Los Angeles Sparks Indiana Fever rematch, once selling for about $210, reportedly fell to just $95. That same matchup previously attracted 2.25 million viewers, making it one of the most watched WNBA games ever. Without Clark on the floor, however, many casual fans view it as just another regular season game.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
Veteran sports writer Christine Brennan has become one of the most outspoken critics of the WNBA's handling of its biggest star. Her book, On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports, promises to examine the league's challenges and the impact Clark has had on women's basketball. After Clark was once again the target of physical play from opponents, Brennan remarked, the WNBA continues to fail to meet the moment. When more people are watching than ever before, this is what they see. Her criticism is clear and direct. Brennan argues that Clark is responsible for attracting a significant share of the league's television audience. Yet the league continues to allow hard fouls and unnecessary cheap shots that appear designed to intimidate its biggest attraction. To Brennan, it's like watching a restaurant owner allow customers to harass the very chef who keeps people coming through the door.
Man, congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
The most frustrating part of this entire situation, according to many observers, is that it could have been avoided. When Clark first entered the league, she was a humble rookie who regularly praised her teammates and often shifted the spotlight away from herself. She handled criticism with remarkable composure and maturity for a 22-year-old. The WNBA had an opportunity to embrace her, protect her, and use her popularity to elevate the league as a whole. Instead, critics argue that jealousy and internal politics overshadowed what should have been a celebration of women's basketball. Clark's injuries have consequences that extend far beyond ticket sales and television ratings. Corporate sponsors invested millions of dollars during the Clark-driven boom, and many are now questioning whether those investments will deliver the expected returns. The situation has also exposed what many see as a deeper identity crisis for the WNBA. The league appears caught between wanting to be recognized as a serious professional basketball organization while also embracing the kind of manufactured controversy that dominates social media. Many believe it cannot successfully do both. Professional leagues protect their biggest stars while preserving fair competition, whereas manufactured drama may generate headlines but ultimately comes at a cost.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour, or whatever the circuit is that they play on, than Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA.
As many critics have pointed out, The contrast with other major professional sports leagues is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. They argue that if the NBA claimed to prioritize competition while allowing players to repeatedly target someone like LeBron James with unnecessary physical play, the league would likely step in quickly, issuing suspensions and disciplinary action without hesitation. Yet, according to those same critics, the WNBA has allowed this pattern to continue for far too long. Some believe the league has adopted the mindset that any publicity is good publicity. However, a growing number of fans say they are refusing to watch games that don't feature Clark because they no longer believe the competition is being officiated fairly. When your own audience begins saying they have lost confidence in the product and won't tune in without your biggest star because they don't trust how the games are being managed, the problem extends far beyond television ratings or revenue. It becomes a serious issue of credibility.
I don't even know where to begin, man. I hope Caitlin Clark is okay. I want to know when this injury even happened, bro, because let's be serious here. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt and playing through this?
The WNBA has had multiple opportunities to change course, yet many critics believe it has repeatedly failed to do so, allowing the situation to grow even worse. Every incident involving Clark could have served as a warning to establish clearer standards for player safety and fair competition. Instead, each controversy has been met with the same familiar responses about basketball plays and letting the players play. Ironically, Clark's injury has become the strongest evidence of her value to the league, the very outcome many believe should have been avoided at all costs. A reported 55% decline in viewership is far from insignificant. Even so, there appears to be little indication that the league has changed its approach. League officials continue to emphasize competitive balance and physical basketball, as though hard fouls and questionable plays are simply part of the game. At the same time, critics argue that genuinely dangerous contact against Clark is too often dismissed, while routine basketball plays involving her are sometimes treated as major controversies.
I admire about Caitlin, she's a warrior. She's tough. You hear me? Bruh, you just don't see players, you don't see female basketball players like her. I'm sorry. I done seen a lot of female basketball players, like I said.
The WNBA now faces difficult decisions about the kind of league it wants to become, but many believe the solution itself is straightforward. If the league wants to be viewed as a truly professional basketball organization, it must begin acting like one by establishing clear player safety standards and enforcing them consistently. Manufactured controversy should never overshadow the game itself. Above all, critics argue that the league must recognize that its biggest stars, especially those who consistently sell out arenas and drive television audiences, deserve protection from the kind of targeting that creates headlines but ultimately harms the sport. The continued decline in revenue, attendance, and viewership during Clark's absence has become, for many, a sobering reminder of what the WNBA looked like before her arrival and what it could resemble again if nothing changes. Without Clark, the league reportedly averaged just 555,000 viewers this season, well below the previous year's average of 670,000. To many observers, those numbers reflect a return to the pre-Clark era, when attendance was lower, television audiences were smaller, and the league struggled to attract anyone beyond its most dedicated fans.
I believe the physicality and all this hacking and fouling that goes on, she getting blindsided by Marina Mabry. I think all of this stuff is having a wear and tear and an impact. And all you guys are doing are hurting yourselves, because the numbers are going to drop and drop and drop. And trust me, when it's time for that collective bargaining agreement, they are going to point to this and say, well, how can we give you guys all this money? What happens if she gets hurt?
The most disappointing part of this entire situation, according to many critics, is that it never had to unfold this way. If the WNBA had done more to protect and promote its biggest star, It could have used Clark's popularity to build a stronger foundation for long-term growth. Instead, many argue the league has built a fragile system that begins to unravel the moment its biggest attraction is no longer on the court. Until it finds a way to consistently protect and support the players who generate the greatest public interest, the WNBA risks continuing these boom and bust cycles in which the presence, or absence, of one superstar determines how much attention the league receives. The biggest question now is whether the WNBA will finally recognize the importance of safeguarding its most valuable asset or continue down the same path until the opportunities created by Clark's popularity are gone. Based on everything that's happened so far, many fans remain unconvinced that meaningful change is coming anytime soon. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any future updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
League is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.